Welcome to another episode of the Blind Waterfowl Podcast, proudly brought to you by Alpha Innovations, the do-it-all rack system. On today's episode, we sit down with owner, operator, and creator of the Alpha Rack himself, Mr. Russell Roberson. Sit back and enjoy as we sit down at the Delta Waterfowl Expo and chat with Russell and his crew about the awesome racks from Alpha Innovations. It's the Delta Waterfowl Hunters Expo coming at you right now, live from the blind.
Welcome to the blind. We are here at the 2023 Delta Waterfowl Duck Hunters Expo, and we are here at the Alpha Innovations booth. And I would say booth 228, but there's a bunch of booths here.
True.
Because Alpha, they've got a big spread right here, and on the show you're going to be able to see the rigs they've got rigged out with the racks, and they've got hats and shirts and all kinds of stuff, and so you'll be able to see that here momentarily. But I have got the owner, creator, the man himself, Mr. Russell Roberson, here with us. And Mr. Russell, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Brian. Pleasure to be here with you.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time because you got a lot of people here looking at your racks, and I think some of them want to buy the whole rig.
They do, but
because the rigs look great.
The rigs are already sold, so
yeah, that's right. That's right. They've already been purchased once.
They've already been purchased.
That's right. Well, look, Russell, why don't you kind of start everybody from the beginning? Tell everybody kind of how this all got started, and I don't even know how you get started on an endeavor like this, but you do. So why don't you just start us from the beginning about how all this even came about?
Well, sure, buy side by side and think that you can go hunting with it, and you want to put a rack on it, and you buy some other racks, and you find out that they don't really work too good.
Yeah.
Because I don't just duck hunt. We deer hunt out of them. We do land management. Honeydews around the house.
That's right.
And so you need something that's not, just one-dimensional. You need something that's configurable, can adapt to whatever you want to do. And so after, tearing a few racks up, it's like we build sawmill machinery. We have a whole slew of engineers. That's my background. We can do better than this. Let's just do something new. Right. And we set out to try to take care of all the different sectors that people use their side-by-sides. We've gone as far as where we have an overlanding tent if you want to go out and camp on it. So it's not just for duck hunting, but it's one of the best duck hunting racks that you ever, configured for duck hunting. And I know that you've had one, you've used it, and comments and feedback from people who use them. We keep adapting, tweaking, and adding to it, and we're really, really excited with the new roof platform that we've come out with. And this is where we're debuting it here at Delta Waterfowl. We thought it'd be a good spot, and we're very, very pleased. So we have a show special on them right now, and we'll probably run that through August. And if you're looking for the best roof platform, give us a call.
Yeah, and I wish that we were live, but we don't have hardwired internet, and as people know with Wi-Fi, it's iffy. But you won't see this show today that we're doing it, but you will see it next week, so you still will be running your special.
Yes.
And we're going to do some we've got some footage already, but we will throughout the day of the new roof rack and just of the rack itself. But the thing that I love about the rack so much is that there's so many options. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You can have it low on your bed. You can have it kind of a middle area. You can have it flush with your roof. You can actually go up a little bit if you've got a snorkel on there. Mm-hmm. And then you've even got where I guess this would be the snorkeled version or maybe even a little bit higher to go with the roof rack.
Right. We wanted that nice, sleek, continuous roof line, and so we had to get just a little bit taller. And after doing that, I've decided that might be my favorite one because there's even more room. You can get under their set. Kids can have a party. It's really nice that I really like that extra height. Now, If you got the roof on it, the roof rack, we're at the same height, okay. Hopefully you can still pull it in your garage.
Yeah,
So some people, there's some reasons that you want it lower, and based on what you're doing. Because when we're doing some heavy duty trail riding, I sometimes like to drop it down.
Yeah.
And, be a little less top heavy and a little bit more maneuverable through some of the bad slopes with the trees. But the protection package we have, and, the design, the testing, they're pretty indestructible.
Yeah. And we're here at the Delta Duck Hunters Waterfowl, the Delta Waterfowl Duck Hunters Expo. But these are not, we've mentioned it already, but it's not just for duck hunters. I mean, I've used mine deer hunting, but you have created a system with it as well for work.
Yes.
And so let's talk about that just a little bit.
Okay, so we like Milwaukee packouts. They're great storage devices, lock-in, modular, different sizes. And we thought, well, if you have those on your rig, you don't even have to strap it down.
Yeah.
It's just stick them in and go. So we've got a whole modular Milwaukee packout mounting system for the side of the buggy, for the top, in your rack, and in the bed we've made some rails, and so you have a quadrant of where you can do 4 full-size pack-out boxes into the bed. You could have them just at the front, have them to the left, have them to the right, based on what you're carrying. So extremely modular. Everybody's different. Everybody has different stuff to haul, but the pack-out boxes, they're waterproof. They're dust-proof. You just lock them in. Whatever size you want, what you need. They've got a really good first aid kit. Or firefighting, land management rig with their drip torches and everything. That was one of the things that the consultants that we're talking with that use them every day said, yeah, if we had one spot and that's always where the first aid kit is, that's great. We run 8 buggies. And it's nice that you can go from buggy to buggy, and everyone is set up the same way. First aid kit's always where it's supposed to be. Keep stuff dry. So we're really liking the pack out.
Yeah. And so something that I like, and it may be made for the pack outs, but what's the railing that in the back in the bed?
Yeah,
what are you calling that?
We're calling that like our L-track rail,
Is that
aircraft
made
track.
for the pack outs?
It is made to mount packouts because we built the packout boxes where those land in your bed. All you have to do is take out your factory screws. We send you new screws. You put them in. You can buy one rail to go in the middle, or you can buy a set of 3. If you can run the modular packouts in the bed, you have to get all 3.
Well, and what I like about it is, I don't run tools on mine personally, but I like them because just as you've got them over here, you can tie down your dog kennels in the back.
Yes.
You can tie down anything, but I like it for that.
And that's how it started.
Yeah.
I wanted to tie my dog kennel down, but I didn't want the strap going over across, getting in the way.
Right.
So I put a rail in.
Yeah.
And then it was like, if we had other rails, we could do these other modular things. So it went from there. But yes, the dog box, my dog kennel, that was a must, and that was the start of the pack-out rail system.
I got you. And so that's what I like about you guys so much, is that it starts with one thing, and then it morphs into another. And, that's, your rack has so many different things you can do with it. So we want people to know that you don't have to be a waterfowl hunter for this.
No.
There are so many uses for this rack, and when you see one here in a minute, you can see you don't have to be a hunter at all. You can just be a recreational rider. There's so many different options for people that want to use them for work or farming or whatever the deal might be. If you have a side by side, there's a use for this thing.
Yes.
And again, I'm not going to name any other brands, but a lot of times when you buy the other ones, there's only 1 or 2 uses for them.
Yes,
you either have to be a hunter or whatnot, and the other things that you would do with them, you can't because you don't have those options.
Right.
But with yours, you can.
Everything's bolt on. We use all metric bolts because every bolt on your side-by-side is a metric bolt. So you only have one set of tools.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, with the pack-out system, it's a great place to carry a whole set of metric sockets and wrenches. In case you're on the trail, you got to work on your side-by-side. You know, there you go.
Yeah. And not only do we love your product because it's so well built, and it's built here in the USA, but not only in the USA, but it's an Arkansas product.
It's an Arkansas
So, you know,
product.
us Arkansas guys, we love to support Arkansas businesses. So,
Yeah.
you know, when you watch this, I know we have a lot of people that watch from Texas and even all the way out into California, and we love you people as well. But, man, we love to support an Arkansas business, and these things are so well built, and, of course, like we said, in the USA, but it's an Arkansas-made product.
Arkansas-made product. We try to only use, even our lights, sea light.
Yeah.
Arkansas company,
Yeah.
right there
Let's
in
talk
Russellville.
about those lights for just a minute, because these aren't just your everyday cheap buy off of Amazon lights. I mean, these
No.
are well-made and mounted lights.
Yes. And I've had all types of lights. I've had the high dollar, expensive U.S.-made supposed lights. And we've been running these on some test vehicles for like 3.5 years. I've yet to have a light failure.
Yeah.
And if I do have a light failure or something, they're Johnny on the spot, take care of it, never had any issues. But, you know, it is a good product.
Yeah.
Very bright, very good lights.
And the placement of the lights. There's not just a light in the front and the back like a lot of people would just think off the bat, you know, but your lights are strategically placed. And when I came up and got the rack on my Can-Am, you know, you showed me the ones that are kind of angled toward the front. And I believed you, but I'd never used one like that. And I was like, man, these that are angled toward the front, and you told me, you know, you turn those on, you're going to be able to see, like before you even turn, you're going to be able to see. And I thought, man, you know, I don't know if I'll ever really use these. And we were talking off camera just a minute ago. I mean, I even used them in the neighborhood pulling kids around on Halloween on a trailer that you could, you know, you didn't have to blind people with your front lights, but you could have those on and see off to the sides. And then when you go hunting, you don't realize how much you want or need a light like that until you have one.
Yes. You really need to be able to see
right.
that sharp corner that you're about to take, or as you're coming off the levee. You need to see that.
You can see more of your surroundings.
Yes.
You know, and
It gives you a
driving
complete
safely in the
yes.
dark, man, it really is a game changer. And I really didn't understand it until I used it. And, man, I love it. I really do.
And I run my dogs every night. Obviously, when it's cooler and the sun sets quicker, you're in the dark when you're running your dogs. And I can see them. They're all right there. We go around the pond. I can see the pond. I can see the dogs. And obviously when we're training later in the season, tune up for duck, it's dark by the time I get a start.
Yeah.
So we just park by the pond and pop open the lights, and we've got a whole pond lit up and go to work.
Yeah. And so if people are interested in your racks, where is the easiest place to find, you know, your I don't want to take us back to the 90s and call it a pamphlet, but, you know, where is the best place that they can find information on all of your stuff?
The website, alpharackusa.com, is the best place to go to start your research. And there's a phone number there. If you have any questions, just call one of our people on the Alpha team, and they can answer any question you have. But there's a lot of information on the website. Goes through it all. So that's where you start. We have very few distributors working on that, but we're the guys who build it. We're the guys who have most of the answers to all the questions, and would love to talk to anybody about it anytime.
Right. And you may not be the guy to ask about this, but you may be. What all social media are you on?
Well, we have Instagram, Facebook, plus our website, and that's pretty much where we're at. We don't tweet. We don't do whatever else. That's where we're at.
And then your dog has Instagram as well.
Yes, my dog does have an Instagram account.
I like following that as well.
Yeah, he's pretty entertaining.
And one heck of a dog. We got the opportunity to hunt together this past year, and man, I could tell some stories just about the dog. You and I were sitting in the blind, and he'd have his head in the blind, and and then when it was time, he went into game mode, and his head went out the front where it needs to be, where he could see the birds. That was just very interesting to me, but how well he knew his job, because usually you got a dog that's in the blind with you like that, you shoot, and they don't know what's going on. But, you start quacking on a duck call, and he flips around, and he's ready to go.
He wants to retrieve.
That's right. Well, and he does a very good job at it.
That's all he wants to do is retrieve. Or lick you and sit in your lap.
That's right.
One of the two.
That's right. Well, look, we're going to wrap it up, but we are going to have some more footage from around the different side-by-sides we've got here. We're actually going to hook you up with a mic here later on sometime today and let you walk around and actually show people what we just talked about so that people can see it. Because when you talk about a rack on a side-by-side, and you know this, you can only tell somebody how good it is. But when you see it, it just adds another aspect to it. So we're going to make sure that everybody who listens to this can see it. Now, you're only going to be able to see it on our Facebook version.
That's fine.
This is going to be out as a podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you are listening to our podcast version, go over to Alpha. Now, is it Alpha Racks with an S?
Alpha
USA?
Rack.
Alpha Rack USA. Okay, I don't want to get it wrong there. Alpha Rack USA. Go over to their website and you can see everything. Or you can go to the Blind Facebook page or Instagram, and we'll have a link there where you can go and find out all the information you want to about the Alpha Rack. So, Mr. Russell, we appreciate you for being here with us, and we appreciate your hospitality.
Sure, we're glad to have you.
We are set up here. Yeah, we are set up here at the Delta Waterfowl Duck Hunters Expo here in Little Rock this weekend. And again, we're going to do some stuff on Facebook where you can see us today, but this will come out here in about a week. And so it won't do me any good to tell you here to come out and see us, but on Facebook here in a little while, we're going to tell you to come out and see us. But make sure you go over to Facebook, Instagram, or Alpha Rack USA. Check out all of the stuff they have to offer. And we'll be back here momentarily with some other guests here from the Delta Expo in Little Rock, Arkansas.